let us look at a scenario wherein you are the marketing manager and you have to decide between multiple medias, okay, and scheduling them when which one to be used. Okay, then we are actually looking at whether we can solve it using transportation problem or assignment problem. You have to decide upon a media mix. Okay, but here you are deciding which one to be chosen when. So whether it will be treated under assignment or under transportation. Yes, Yash wants to say something.
Assignment problem?
Yes, it will be an assignment problem. But why do you feel so?
Because you have to assign it particularly one thing to
Yes,
one to one.
one-to-one allocation is there. Hence, it will be treated as assignment problem. And now if I say how much budget is to be distributed across different media formats to ensure the maximum reach, then it can be treated under transportation problem. Okay, so that means my one resource, which is uh, the budget money, can be distributed across. So एक मीडिया में आप X amount डालोगे, दूसरे में Y amount डालोगे, तीसरे में Z amount डालोगे, and the total budget that would be available to you would be X plus Y plus Z. Correct? अरे भाई, is that fine? Are we clear with
Yes.
that concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can understand you would be having challenges in terms of the background noises coming out. Okay. Please don't worry about that. I can understand it's a problem at each and every end. So to respond, don't worry about the background noise. Okay. I will not feel bad about it. But what I feel more bad is when people don't respond. So that time I am unable to assess whether whatever that is being put across is being understood or not. Okay. So your response is more crucial for me as compared to the background noises. So don't worry about the background noise. Okay. और ये भी मत सोचो कि अरे मेरे इधर से ये आवाज आ रही है, पता नहीं सामने वाले को क्या लगेगा. यार वो जिसको गलत कुछ लग रहा होगा वो उसका प्रॉब्लम है. Okay. So please participate and ensure that we all learn satisfactorily. At the end of the day, we should be happy. Okay. So we stopped with the Excel solver problem at the during our last session.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we only just saw how solver can be used for solving a transportation problem, wherein the differences that we talked about, the same differences are being used to devise the transportation problem. हमने उसमें ये आजू बाजू में रखा, हम इसको ऊपर नीचे भी रख सकते थे. ठीक है. We only just checked for the allocation, whether the allocation suggested by the shipping clerk is optimal or not. So we checked it and then we worked it out for optimality. Correct? उतना किया था हम लोगों ने.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us look at this third part of the question. Did we do this also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We have done this. Is everybody clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I look at the same thing, okay, when we got an optimal solution, this is what we have got, correct? This was our table for the optimal solution. Perfect. Now let us look at whether we get this kind of opportunity costs also in our Excel sheet. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just removing these allocations and I'm going to solve it again. Okay. All the parameters, everything is set there. Okay. All I need to do is just click on solve. And select this sensitivity report. Okay. आंसर रिपोर्ट और लिमिट्स वगैरह में हम लोगों को ज्यादातर कुछ अच्छा और एक्स्ट्रा एडिशनल कॉस्ट काम का नहीं मिलता है, बट स्टिल इफ यू विश टू यू कैन check that also and try to find out what is the information that you are getting out of it. But this is what would be crucial when we look at the third part of our question. Okay, so let's say okay. Excel has worked out the solution for us. Just practice problem 2. Fine. Let us look at this. Can we see this column? Reduced cost. Is it matching with are we getting this same 3 AQ? Since there is an allocation 0, another allocation 0, another allocation 0, then 5, then 9, then allocation, so hence 0, 6, 0 because of an allocation, then 2, 1, and allocation, so that means 0. Is it matching with the opportunity cost that we have got?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you can work out this also. Okay, so this very clearly says if this cost, okay, that means 6 instead of 6, if this would have been 6 minus 3, then there is a possibility of allocation. Okay, then there is a possibility of allocation. बाकी के लिए reduced cost 0 है, मतलब वहां पर already allocations हैं. Okay, अगर allocation नहीं है and still you get a 0, so that means it is indicating an alternate solution at that place. Fine.
So can you repeat, please?
Hello. In case if you get a 0 here and in that particular cell there is no allocation, so that will indicate that there is a possibility of an alternate solution. Okay, as of now we are getting zeros in all the places where we have an allocation. See, correct? So as of now we are getting zeros in all the places of allocation. If you have number of zeros more than the number of allocations, so that means there is an alternate solution also. Okay, and the cell in which you find a 0 as an opportunity cost, okay, that means if an allocation is made in that particular cell, okay, total cost of transportation will not change. Now, when do we use this? For example, I have received a solution और वो solution में एक transportation route is passing through a Naxalite area. Now, because of some problem, yesterday night, I cannot send my vehicles from there. Then what to do? So that time, this alternate solution actually helps you out. Fine. Without increasing your total cost, you are still able to manage the total supply and total demand. Or we can also say demand fulfillment is achieved. Clear up to this? Have I got disconnected?
No, sir.
No, sir, no.
So at least please respond. Okay. Now, during my last session, I have also asked you to see if you can work this out. Correct? बोला था क्या?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So did anybody try? I'm not asking whether you have done it. I'm asking, did you try? Okay. That should be taken for a no. Should we call the session off today?
No, sir.
When people are not responding, that is how I feel. Or should I ask everybody to switch on the cameras and then see?
Yes, sir, we tried it but could not make the table properly.
Okay. Fine. I will try and make the table for you.
Could you repeat what you said, sir?
I will try and make the help you make the table now.
Okay.
Because important here is You should be able to formulate situations into a model. Then only it makes sense. Okay, नहीं तो फिर कोई मतलब नहीं रहेगा. Else it would be a total waste. I'm just putting up the question in front of us so that it is easy for us to understand and do it. Okay. Now, consider the problem of scheduling a weekly production of certain items for the next 4 weeks. Okay, so our production scheduling issue is for 4 weeks. So that means week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. The production cost of the item is rupees 10 for the first 2 weeks and rupees 15 for the last 2 weeks. So that means if I'm going to produce anything during the week 1 and week 2, it is going to cost me 10 rupees per unit. And during week 3 and week 4, it will cost me 15 rupees per unit. The weekly demands are 300, 700, 900, and 800, which must be met. The plant can produce a maximum of 700 units per week. So this is how we can produce. So that means if I say my okay, anyway, we'll read the next part also. So 700 is what we can actually produce. So production in the first week. Okay, so I will start using production in the first week, second week, third week, and fourth week. Similarly, we have week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Correct? So weekly demands have been given as weekly demand. Weekly demand is given as 300 for week 1, 700 for week 2, 900 for week 3, and 800 for week 4. And production that is possible during every week is 700 units. Correct? Fine up
Yes,
to
sir.
this?
Yes.
Okay. अभी इसके बीच में कहा कि अपने को फिल करने का है, that is the cost table. The plant can produce a maximum of 700. In addition, the company can use overtime during the second and third week. So that means overtime is possible during the second and third week. So let us say I make a provision for overtime during the second week. I do it also for the third week. Correct? So P indicates regular production. Fine, यहाँ पर हम लिख देते हैं P means regular production. O indicates overtime production. Fine. Now, during the overtime, how much are we able to produce? 200 units. Similarly, here also it is 200 units. Okay, let us look at exactly what is the condition in terms of whether the problem is a balanced problem or not. Here it is 2700. Here it is 3200. So that means अपने को एक डमी रो या कॉलम कुछ तो डालना पड़ेगा. What do we need to introduce? Since it is not a balanced problem, a dummy
column.
Dummy column. Very good. So we will just pull it here and we'll say we'll create a dummy week, or I can also look at it as unsold items. Correct, na? If I assume that I am going to manufacture all of this, then definitely it would be an unsold item with total how much? What would be the value here? This is 3200 and this is 2700. So that means this will be
500.
500. Okay. Now let us look at the cost elements. It says, but the production cost also increases by ₹5. So जब भी हम overtime में कर रहे हैं, that time our cost will also increase by 5. As of now, our cost of production is 10 rupees for the regular product for the week 1 and week 2, and 15 rupees for the last 2 weeks. So that means if I'm going to produce during my week 1 regular production cycle, so it will cost me 10 rupees. Okay. And week 2 also it will cost me 10 rupees. But if I produce during the 3rd week, it will cost me 15 rupees. And here also it will cost me 15 rupees. Correct? It says when I am going to produce during my overtime period, it will cost me additional 5 rupees. So अगर आपका regular production में 10 rupees cost है, so here it will cost you 15 rupees. And when during the week 3, your cost of regular production was 15, what cost of production will be 15 plus 5. So it is 20. अगर भी इसको वैसे ही लिखते हैं equals to this plus 5. Correct? Excess production can be stored at a unit cost of ₹3 per week. So whatever that I produce here, and if I don't sell it in that week only and I sell it in the 2nd week, I will incur an additional cost of ₹3. Correct? Similarly, if I produce in this week and I sell it in this week, so 10 plus 3 plus 3. So that means I can just simply इसके ऊपर plus 3 कर सकता हूँ. Correct? So I can just pull it across till week 4. I'm not going to have any cost element here. Reason: production in the first week is only possible in the first week, but 2nd week's production is not possible during the first week. So we are going to put a very high value there. Normally we put it as M. Okay, so it would be applicable all across. So during the first week, I cannot have a production quantities produced in the second week, third week or fourth week. Okay, similarly, जो थर्ड वीक का प्रोडक्शन जो मैं प्रोड्यूस करूंगा वो मेरे को सेकंड वीक में अवेलेबल नहीं होगा. So even here also it would be M. That means I don't want an allocation to be coming there. So it would be applicable all across. Now, fourth week's production cannot be made in the third week. Hence, an M here also. Are we clear up to this? Any doubts here? Okay, I assume no doubts. Now, whatever that we are going to produce during the week 2 will cost us 10 rupees and will cost us extra 3 rupees for storage. And as we pull forward, if I produce here and sell here, it would be 13 rupees. If I sell even after a week, it will cost me 16 rupees per unit. Similarly, if I produce it during the overtime period, it will cost me 15 plus 3, 18. And if I sell it in the fourth week, then plus 3, that is 21 rupees. Similarly, if I produce anything during the week 3, so 15 rupees is my regular cost. And if I sell it in the next week, so it would cost me additional 3 rupees. Similarly, for the overtime.
21 का what you did earlier?
ये वाला?
हाँ sir, about that 21. Yes, yes.
So आपने 15 के रेट से बनाया था ओवरटाइम के इसमें ओवरटाइम ड्यूरिंग द वीक 2. ओके, और उसको जो भी आपने ओवरटाइम पे बनाया and if you are selling it in the third week will cost you additional 3 rupees. So 15 plus 3, 18. फिर 18 plus 3, 21. So if you are producing here and you are selling it 2 weeks after, तो आपको 6 रुपए उसमें एक्स्ट्रा लग जाएंगे. Okay?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Now, since we don't know or we don't have any idea about the unsold items, no information is provided, we'll use it as 0. Clear up to this?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. Now, अभी ये बैलेंस प्रॉब्लम हो गया. अब इसको हम सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. हो जाएगा सॉल्व करके. Would you like to solve it using solver?
Yes, sir.
Nobody has anything to say.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, take 5 minutes to do it. How many of you intend to solve it? Please raise your hand. Good. So we have good numbers. Good. Please take around 5 to 7 minutes to do it. I'm just keeping it here on the screen. Else, I will do it after. You can use any method, even if you wish to do it manually, even that's fine. But manually में काफी time लगेगा. But you should practice it. सॉल्वर से 5 मिनट में हो जाएगा. Then done or still going on? You need some more time to finish?
2 minutes, sir.
Oh.
Done, sir.
Done. How much are you getting? What is the total production cost that you are getting?
16,200.
16,200. I'll have to check. Okay. We'll come. We'll try and see. What about others?
Yes, sir. 16,200.
16,200. So that means that should be the right answer. Okay. The best part of solving it using solver is you don't need to worry about basic feasible solution. You don't need to check for optimality using stepping stone or UV method. You don't even need to worry in terms of whether the solution that you have obtained is a degenerate or not. Okay. So majority of the things are taken care of by Excel itself. Okay. So what about others? Do they need more time to do it or should I go ahead? I'm replacing M with 1000.
Sir, too many.
Yes, okay. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is my cost table and this is my production schedule. Fine. What we'll do is आपका allocation table आप बनाओगे, that is production schedule table. Every column will have a sum function. So summation of every column is to be tracked. Summation of every row is to be tracked. Total production cost will be sum product of this table, comma, this table. Okay. Now we will start with our solver. Solver. Objective would be to first we need to check whether it is taking that same cell. So this is my objective cell. So I6, it should be minimization by changing the variable cells. These are my variable cells. My constraints would be these sum values should be equal to the weekly demand. Okay. Add these production capacity should be equal to production capacity. Production achieved will be equal to production capacity. Do we need anything else? इसमें और कुछ नहीं लगेगा. Okay, because we want not only just binary but we want whole numbers. ठीक है. आप इसमें एक चीज और डाल सकते हो कि it should not be decimal. तो आप उसमें define कर सकते हो कि the values coming here should be integer. So that is also one of the constraints which you can put in case it is required. Okay. Now we have to ensure that make unconstrained variables non-negative is tick mark. Simplex LP is selected and we will solve the problem. So we have got allocations. यहाँ पर हम इसको ऐसे कर देते हैं कि wherever it is more than 0, greater than 0 should be highlighted. Are we able to see? आप देखिए ज्यादातर लोएस्ट कॉस्ट सेलेक्ट हुए हैं, करेक्ट? एक्सेप्ट फॉर
हेल्प कर सकते हो आप, एक बार सॉल्वर दिखाओ ना, एक सॉल्वर में आके हम लोग कौन बेडरूम क्या तकलीफ दो बेडरूम है, एक हम लोग को एक बेडरूम चाहिए, एक रूम चाहिए, ऐसे हर मनुष्य का प्रॉब्लम है. थैंक यू सर.
आप लोगों का आंसर कुछ अलग आया था ना? Can you please check your solver settings?
सर एक्चुअली हमने ना m को 1000 से रिप्लेस नहीं किया था, which is why वो 16200 आ रहा था.
अच्छा अच्छा. M has to be replaced by a very high value.
Got it, sir.
Because significance of M is it is put up only just to indicate a very high value. Okay. Now, what we'll do is, since we balanced this problem and then we have worked it out, we'll try and do it without balancing it. Okay. Solver can help you in doing that also. फाइन, एक नजर मारते हैं. Should we try? Interested?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I am going to do is I will just copy the entire stuff and paste it here and will work again. This is balanced problem, and what we are going to do would be an unbalanced one. Fine. Okay. So अभी इस वक्त आप इसको ऐसे देखिए कि यहाँ पर जो जो allocations आए हैं ना, let us first interpret it. This says that 100 units produced in the week 1 will remain unsold. Okay. So जब आप plan, this is actually done at the time of planning itself. So this very clearly says that first week का production capacity मैं अंडर रन करूंगा. अंडर रन मतलब मैं 700 यूनिट्स ना बना के 600 यूनिट्स ही बनाऊंगा, जिसमें से कि 300 यूनिट्स यहाँ पर सेल कर दूंगा और बाकी के 200 and 100 यूनिट्स यहाँ पर सेल हो जाएंगे. बाकी वीक 2, वीक 3, वीक 4 फुल कैपेसिटी में रन होगा. This also says, since I have got an allocation in the O2 row and O3 row in the unsold items column, so this indicates that I don't need overtime in the second week, neither I need overtime in the third week. So we don't need to go in for overtime schedule. Okay, this is the physical interpretation of it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete these cells. Okay. Hello. Are we okay after this?
Yes, sir.
I'm deleting these cells. Now, this is a hint for us to understand exactly how my condition should have been placed. Look at this. All the values on this side, okay, are either less than or equal to these values. Correct? Correct? So when I'm going to place a constraint, okay, for this column values, okay, for this row summations, that time I would use a constraint instead of equals to, less than or equal to. What about this side? 300, 700, 900, 800. So the demands are being met. So I can put equals to on that front, or let me put it here only so that we know this is how it works. Fine. Are we clear? अब इसको देखते हैं, ये भी हमारा फंक्शन बराबर काम कर रहा है क्या? Yes. What about these? Oh, sorry, summation यहाँ पर है. Fine. Fine. So we'll go for solver again. and all these values will change. So इसके लिए मैं सब पूरा reset कर देता हूँ. So all the values are gone. Now my objective cell would be this one. Objective would be to minimize the total production cost. My variable cells will be these values, correct? I'll go back. My constraints would be these summation values have to be less than or equal to these values. ठीक है, जो भी चीज ज्यादा होगी अनबैलेंस्ड वाले उसमें आप उसके लिए लेस देन और इक्वल टू डालोगे. Say add, and these values will be equal to these values. So that means you want all the demands to be satisfied anyhow. Okay, I say okay, and before I click on solve, let me just delete all this first, so that we'll come to know whether we are getting the right values or not. Okay, so clicking it here, I will again go back to solver, and now since everything is set, all I need to do is just click on solve, and I say okay. Have I got the same allocations and the same total production cost? Okay, are we clear with this? How to decide what would be your, yes?
Sir, why did we take 1,000?
1,000 will still be there because we don't want allocations to be coming here. So we try to put up a very high cost element so that there is no allocation coming in, else it will lose the relevancy of the problem. This putting 1,000 here means I cannot run the regular production of week 2 in week 1. वो तो जब उसका टाइम आएगा तभी शेड्यूल हो सकता है ना, उसके पहले तो नहीं कर सकते हैं. Correct? You
So, sir,
cannot
can
give
we
your
take any other value too instead of 1,000?
sorry. Yes, you can put it 10,000, 100, any value which is higher than the other cost elements. Putting 1,000 will actually escalate it to a very high level, and hence I had used 1,000. You can choose whatever that you like, but it should be a higher value than the other indicated cost elements. Yes?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome. Are we clear with this inequality signs also?
Yes, sir.
Good. So this will help you in terms of practicing numericals manually, as well as cross-checking the solution using solver. Okay. Can we move to the next one now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I hope you all have this PDF file with you. Did you try to go through this question? Question number 4. A company has 7. I hope everybody is back.
Yes, sir.
Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Here the situation is a company has 7 manufacturing units situated in different parts of the country. Due to recession, it is proposed to close 4 of these and to concentrate production in the remaining 3 units. Production in these units will actually be increased from present levels and would require an increase in the personnel deployed in them. Personnel at the closed units express their desire for moving to any one of the remaining units, and the company is willing to provide them removal costs. The retraining expenses would have to be incurred as the technology in these units are different. Not all existing personnel can be absorbed by transfer, and a number of redundancies will arise. Redundancies means some of them who cannot be transferred. Okay, so they will become redundant. Okay, the cost of redundancy is given as a general figure at each unit cost. Okay, so let us look at the information that is available with us. First thing is the factories. Okay, so this is one information which is available. Second is retraining cost in thousands per person. So A, B, C and D. तो ये डेटा को भी हम लोग just ले लेते हैं so that we are able to so let me just put up these things in the Excel sheet so that we can work around. Yes, there have been some problem कि यहाँ पर आपका डेटा थोड़ा सा ऊपर नीचे इधर उधर हो गया है, so that needs to be corrected. The rest everything is fine. So this is I'm just putting up the data at one place so that it is easy for us to work around. Here they have given us the redundancy cost also, correct? So we'll have to take care of that too. So let us look at what is the information available with us, and accordingly we will take a call. करना क्या है? Fine. So this is the information which is available. इसको हम देखते हैं. This talks about your retraining cost. This is your factories and number of people who are employed there. Okay. तो आपके ये जो factories A, B, C और D है, these are the factories which will be closed. Okay. Since they are getting closed, so वहां पर के जो employees हैं उनको आप उठा करके personals required in the factories E, F, G. So ये factories में transfer करना पड़ेगा. Fine. So what is the total requirement at this front? 1000. And how many employees are getting laid off? 1100. That itself very clearly says total number of employees getting laid off. So this is equal to sum of these. Correct. Similarly, total employees required in these new plants. कितने हैं? Equals to sum of the three. So required are 1000 and getting laid off is 1100. So that means there would be some employees who will get redundant. कितने आपके redundant हो जाएंगे?
100.
100. So 100 employees will be getting redundant. Now, what are the other costs which are involved? One is the cost of removal. Okay. That means transfer to factory E, transfer to factory F, transfer to factory G. So transfer to the different factories will also cost you some. So that means if I am transferring them from factory A, okay, to factory E, it will cost me 2.5K, that is 2500 per person. Here it will cost me 3.6K, so 3600 per person from B to E. Similarly, from A to F, A to G, B to E, B to F, B to G, and so on. So whenever we are going to look at our total cost, what would be our total cost? Removal cost, or rather we should call it as transfer cost plus retraining cost. So our total cost of transfer will be equal to transfer, or it is also called as, यहाँ पर it is indicated as removal cost plus your retraining cost. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And जो ये बाकी ये this would be for 1000 employees. For 100 employees क्या होगा? Only the redundancy cost will come. The redundancy means उनको टाटा बाय बाय कर दिया, तो उनको कुछ समय का नोटिस वगैरह वो सब पैसे देने पड़ते हैं ना, ग्रेचुइटी वगैरह वो सब चीज भी एप्लीकेबल हो जाएगी. सो दोज costs would be applicable for 100 employees. Now, how do you propose to formulate your table? What would be your source? Objective is to transfer the employees. Obtain a solution to the problem of the cheapest means to transfer personnel from units close to those units which will be expanded. State with reason whether or not the solution obtained is optimal and unique. State the cost of the initial and final solutions. अभी ये initial and final solutions बोला है, so that means you are expected to do it manually and you have to get a basic feasible solution and optimal solution too. Here, whether or not the solution obtained is optimal and unique. Unique means there will not be any alternate solution for this particular solution, for this particular question. So in case if you are getting an opportunity cost as equal to 0 for any of the unallocated cells, that means the solution is not unique. It can have an alternate solution also for it. But in case if you don't get a 0 as an opportunity cost for any of the unallocated cells, that means the solution obtained is unique. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
अब यहाँ पर पहले ही बोल रहा है obtain a solution to the problem of the cheapest means. That means you have to minimize the cost. Okay, so आपका टेबल कैसा बनेगा? सोर्स क्या होगा और डेस्टिनेशन और रादर डिमांड सेंटर. ये सोर्स इज नथिंग बट योर सप्लाई और डेस्टिनेशन यहाँ पर और कुछ नहीं बट इट्स डिमांड. क्या आएगा? बोलिए. Nobody wants to say anything. Okay, you don't want to say anything? No responses? Should I just simply go ahead and solve and finish? I will not keep on asking again and again. I'll make everybody attendee henceforth. and then we don't need to actually respond. और फिर उससे अच्छा मैं आपको वीडियो सेशंस रिकॉर्ड करके दे दूंगा then. Fine. I'll finish the topic today itself in a while now. Since you guys have nothing to respond, I'm okay with it. Factories A, B, C, and D will become your source, and factories E, F, and G will become your destination. So you will have a table, something like this, okay, with the cost elements, which would be a summation of. So now, instead of having it like this, it would be a bit just the opposite. So instead of doing it that way, since my data is like this, it would be easy for me to put it on this side. So my demand, I'm going to put it here, and my source, I'm putting it here. So my costs would be equals to this cost plus this cost, and it would be the same for all of them. So this becomes my cost table. Now there would be some people who will become redundant. So for redundant people, my cost would be so okay. This becomes my cost table, and the requirements at E, F, and G will be my requirements here, and redundant would be 100. So that becomes my last element. So 100 people will get redundant. Total number of people who are there, that becomes my this value, or I can just simply put it as a link so that tomorrow if I want to change the values, it becomes easy. Here I will have my total cost. So total cost of reallocation I think I should have not put the borders there. Unnecessary, it will just confuse. So better to put borders only for this. So the values will be 0, Here it will be equals to sum of. Next problems I'm not going to solve. You guys will solve it on your own. I will only just formulate and I'll go ahead. I will finish off the syllabus as soon as possible, because what I am observing is you guys are not interested in even replying back, saying whether you are understanding or not. So at the time of Viva, you will face problem, not me. And your assignments would be evaluated not just based on submissions, but also based on your performance in the Viva.
So, hello. So one question I had, why did we took redundant and like in the sum? Hello.
Yes,
So am I audible?
yes, you are audible.
So
Now,
I
how
was
are you
asking.
feeling when I am not responding back?
Sorry, sir. Extremely sorry.
Immediately, you asked whether you are audible or not. Just imagine how I am feeling when I am asking you again and again and again. You will not
Sorry,
be
sir.
able to accommodate all the employees getting transferred from factories A, B, C, and D within factories E, F, and G. So some of them will become redundant. Redundant means you'll have to ask them to leave. Okay, you cannot accommodate them. So that allocation, whichever allocation comes here, will be the people who will be getting redundant, will be the people who will be getting laid off.
Okay, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir. Once again, sorry, sir.
Objective would be to minimize. So this becomes your objective function, minimization. Variable cells would be the allocation cells. Your constraints, since we have made it a balanced problem now, these will be equal to these values. Add. These values will be equal to these values. Okay, we don't have any other further constraints. So we'll just make it simplex LP, ensure that this is strict. That means we don't want any negative values. I say solve, and it gives me a solution like this. Now there was a question which said whether the solution obtained is optimal or not. So I will also generate a sensitivity report for this. Now the only question that I will not be able to answer is that is related to basic feasible solution and final optimal solution, but I can definitely say regarding these values. So all I need to do is just put conditional formatting so it is very clearly visible to me. I have a rule, format this cell using a formula. If this value is greater than 0, then make the font as bold. Let us fill it as light green. Say OK. And we'll format it the same way for all the cells. And here we'll highlight the cells which are greater than 0. So this will help us in understanding whether now EA, EB, EC, ED, FA. This is the column which we need to look at. Okay. So what we'll do is, since switching between both the tables would be difficult again and again. So I'll just copy this and I will paste it here so that we can compare. Now, EA, reduced cost, is 0. That means an alternate solution is definitely there. Okay, then we have an allocation here, EB, we have an allocation here also, EC, we don't have an allocation there, but then we are getting 3 zeros and then ED. We are getting a value 3. So that means allocation in this cell will increase the cost by 3. Then F 0, 1, 0, 0. So 0, 1, 0, 0. So that means no. What about this one? 1, 0, 1, 2. So for G 1, 0, 1, 2. So fine. What about this 2014? So that is 2014. So that means there is, since a 0 as an opportunity cost is coming for this cell, there is an alternate solution available. So the solution obtained is not unique. Okay. This is how you work it out in Excel. Manually, you will be getting a basic feasible solution. Recommended is to go with Vogel's approximation method. After that, go for UV method for optimization. Once you are through with your optimization and you have got all the opportunity cost values either as 0 or greater than 0, you can stop. That becomes your optimal solution. And if you are getting 0 as an opportunity cost in any of the cells, that means an alternate solution exists. The solution obtained is not unique. This is my interest table. Here it is saying any amount. Any amount means whatever is the difference, they are ready to pay. So this says it is 750. These are the amount required for these projects. Okay. These are your banks, which is a private bank, a nationalized bank, a cooperative bank, and the total amount which is required. So that means this could be your project cost or the loan requirement for that particular project. This says the interest which is being charged by them for every project. Now this interest rate will always be different for different projects depending upon the risks involved in those projects. So now this is 750 and this is 650. So that means it is 100. So with this basically becomes balance 750. Now this bank was ready to give you any amount, but if you observe, this bank had the highest interest rate also. And that was the reason why they were open for giving higher credits also. Now, Stronghold Construction Company is interested in taking loans from banks for some of its projects, PQRS and T. The rates of interest and the lending capacity differs from bank to bank. All these projects are to be completed. The relevant details are provided in the following table. Assuming the role of a consultant, advise this company as to how it should take the loans so that the total interest payable will be the least. Are there alternate optimal solutions? If so, indicate one such solution. So that means you have to also indicate an alternate solution too. How will you get that? So this belongs to the finance domain. Okay. This is actually project finance. तो आपको जो अलग अलग projects में लगेगा, from where will you source it? Now this is not necessarily that it would be a bank. This could be different sources also. Okay, some could be internal source, some could be external source. Now since I have to work around, okay, so as usual, what I will try to do is I will try to minimize my total what? Total interest that I will be paying it to the bank. Okay, so हर एक बैंक एक अमाउंट दे रहा है और उस हिसाब से ये इंटरेस्ट रेट है जो वो चार्ज करने वाला है. So I'm just creating a copy of it. This is my interest table and project finance table. So I'll just remove all these values from here. Equals to sum equals to sum. So row summation, column summation, that is what you are going to take. Here you will have it as equals to sum product. The objective would be to minimize. Go to data, solver. It has already selected the objective function, minimization, changing variable cells. These are going to be your variable cells. Add the constraints since they are balanced. Now we can just say equals to these values. Add these values have to be equal to these values. Say okay. And since we want to check whether it has an optimal solution or not, I will select this report also to be published along with. Okay. The other thing that I would like to do is in conditional formatting, so it becomes easy for me to visualize. Okay, so this is what I have received. I just copy this table. So private bank 2P. Fine. So we need to again look at this reduced cost table. So if we observe, wherever zeros are there, okay, private bank to Q. For this also it is indicating 0. So this says that there will be an alternate optimal solution. This is your total interest rate. Total, you can say basically the amount that you are going to pay. Actually, आपको इसको भी percentage में convert करेंगे तो this will become total interest. ठीक है? So I haven't done it, but आप चाहो तो वो भी कर सकते हो. So this says that you will get an alternate solution there. Do we have any other areas where we will be getting an alternate solution? यहाँ पर तो we have an allocation, then 1. Yes, here also there is an 0. So that means this will also indicate an alternate solution. So that means we are getting alternate solution at these two places. That means here as well as here. So I'm just highlighting them so that we know, and wherever possible we can just put a plus sign, make a loop, and we can get the next set of solution. Then 0 0 0 1 1. So 0 0 0 1 1. So not in the second row. What about the third? 0 0 0. All of them are zeros. So this basically says these first two. So that means here there is an alternate solution possible. So there are multiple alternate solutions possible here. So if I choose this one, I can make a loop like this, simple. Okay. So plus 1, minus 1, plus 1, minus 1. So minus minus. So that means 100 units will get readjusted here. Okay. If I choose this one, so this will give me plus minus plus minus. So 50 units will get readjusted here. Okay. What about this one? So again, this, 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 and this. So this is how your loop will be formed. So plus minus plus minus. So minus में 200 है, minus में 500 है. So 550. Sorry, 500 नहीं, 50. So 50 will get readjusted here. What
So
about
are
this
you
one?
moving the cursor? Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, I am moving the cursor.
Actually, I don't know why, but I can't see. Like, I can see the screen is freezed.
You are not able to see the cursor.
No, sir.
चलो एटलीस्ट कम से कम आई एम हैप्पी कि तुम लोगों ने उधर तो कुछ तो बोला. I will just copy paste this table below so that I can explain, and I will remove all the other values so that you are able to see it. Okay. If I am considering this first one, that means this one.
So still we are able to see the freeze. Yeah, now it's okay.
Sir, now it, yeah.
Yes.
It has loaded.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So I'm just ignoring all these for the time being, and this one also. Okay. So my loop will be formed using these 4 cells. Correct? Plus will come for allocation into this cell. Okay. Minus will come here, plus minus, and then your theta would be minimum of the two minuses. So that means 100 and 150. So minimum is 100. So 100 will get adjusted here, will get added here. 100 will get subtracted from here. 100 will get added here, and 100 will get subtracted from here. So this will become 100. 100 gets subtracted from here, so you will not have any value there. This 50, 100 will get added here. So this will become 150, and 100 will get subtracted from here. So that means, are my constraints the same? 100, 400, 250, 150, 200. Now let me just check what is my total cost of allocation for this particular solution, equals to some product of this, comma, my interest values. Is it the same? 11625?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Now let me again take this one and check it for and another alternate solution. So I have to do it below this one. So this is my solution 1. Sorry, this is my solution 2. This becomes my solution 3. I'm trying to work it out. Okay. So as per this solution 3, I'm going to evaluate this one. Okay. So if I'm evaluating this one, so my loop will be formed based on these corner cells. Okay. So 100, 50, 75, and 0. So if I assume a positive allocation in this cell, okay, so I will subtract from here, I'll add here, and I will subtract here. Okay, so subtraction आपका दो cells में है 75 and 100. So your theta becomes 75. So you will subtract theta from here. So this becomes 0. This becomes 75. This reduces. So this reduces to 25, and you will add 75 here. So this becomes 125. Correct? Just look at whether the row and column constraints are remaining the same. तो अभी वापस से हम यहाँ पर एक बार सम प्रोडक्ट करके देख लेते हैं whether we have the solution obtained is the had there been any changes. So comma बाकी अब कर लो ये तो छोड़ दो चलेगा. Fine. So we are getting the same solution, so that means perfectly fine. So this becomes my alternate solution. Other solutions you can work it out on your own. Okay, they wanted only just one. I have already shown you additional 2 solutions. Moving forward, I think 2 more to go. Hopefully by learn 15 will be finished. So मैं भी इतनी मेहनत क्यों करूं? Okay, a manufacturer of jeans is interested in developing an advertising campaign that will reach 4 different age groups. So these are the age groups which are indicated here: 13 to 18, 19 to 25, 26 to 35, and 36 and older. Advertising campaigns can be conducted through TV, radio, and magazines. The following table gives the estimated cost in paise per exposure for each group according to the medium employed. So this is the cost which is indicated is paise per exposure. Okay, so obviously इतना पढ़ते ही अपने को समझ में आता है कि we would like to maximize the exposure with minimum cost. So हम इसको दो तरह से कर सकते हैं कि either we maximize the exposure or we minimize the cost. Let us see what they are asking for. In addition, maximum exposure levels possible in each of the media, namely TV, radio, and magazines, are 40, 30, and 20. So for all the 3, maximum exposures have also been indicated here. So it is indicated as 40 for TV, 30 for radio, and 20 million for magazine. it is in terms of millions. Okay. Also, the minimum desired exposures within each group, namely 13 to 18, 19 to 25, 36 and older, are 30, 25, 15 and 10 million. This is what you would be actually getting values based on. Okay. Your स्ट्रैटेजिक टीम जो आपको बताती है कि भाई इतना मार्केटिंग स्ट्रैटेजिक टीम जो होती है दैट विल टेल यू कि अगर हम लोग इतने लोगों को रीच कर रहे हैं तो उसमें से इतने लोग विल गेट कन्वर्टेड विल बेसिकली गो फॉर परचेज एंड उसमें से कितना आपको मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट में ट्रांसलेट करेगा सो कितना लोगों तक पहुंचना चाहिए तो दैट इज व्हाट विल बी टेकिंग इनटू कंसीडरेशन तो उसके लिए आपको दिया हुआ है कि desired exposure in every age group okay is 30 25 15 and 10 million the objective is to minimize the cost of obtaining the minimum exposure level तो आपको minimum exposure level जो बोला है वो मैनेज करना है ठीक है now आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होगा कॉस्ट मिनिमाइजेशन एंड मिनिमम एक्सपोजर लेवल्स मतलब ये जो है ये मिनिमम एक्सपोजर लेवल्स आपको ये मैनेज करने हैं फाइन सो okay so now maximum exposure levels possible so maximum exposure possible is indicated as 40 30 and 20 so 40 30 and 20 million it is in millions and minimum desired exposure so minimum desired exposure in every group in every age group कितना बोला है 30 25 15 and 10 30 25 15 and 10 correct this is also in terms of millions so again it could be a minimization problem so this is where I'm going to exposure matrix and this is my cost per exposure it is in paise okay so equals to some product of this array comma this array and this would be equals to sum for all equals to sum for the row so just a minute and we are almost done. So objective would be to minimize variable cells to be changed. Is this your constraints? I haven't checked whether it is balanced or not. 40 plus 50 is 90. What about this? 40 plus 30, 70, 80. So ये balance नहीं है. Okay. So the minimum is what is desired. Okay. So I will go and add the constraints as these values should be equal to these values under any circumstances. Add these values can be less than or equal to these values, and I say okay, make it simplex LP and solve. Sensitivity analysis will help you in understanding whether there is an alternate optimal solution or not. It will insert a file, a sheet here. Okay. So this is what we have got as an allocation. And I assume that none of you would be having any doubts. In case होगा तो आप लोग खुद से पूछोगे. I don't need to keep on asking again and again. Correct? So